Thierry Henry turned defenders into spectators and goalkeepers into statues, cementing his name as one of football's all-time greats. Just how good was Henry, and how was he seen by other legends of the sport? Henry's Arsenal's GOAT. No arguments there. He snagged the Football Writers Association Footballer of the Year title a record 3 times, and bagged the PFA Players Player of the Year twice. Oh, and did we mention he made the PFA Team of the Year 6 times in a row, and the UEFA Team of the Year a solid 5 times? Talk about consistency. Today, some of the sport's legends explain why Henry was on a different level. There's no place like home, and no better spot to kick off this video than at Thierry Henry's personal kingdom, Arsenal. And who better to tell the story than the manager who helped him achieve all the glory? Before Henry became a Gunners legend, he suited up for Monaco and Juventus. But let's be honest, his 8 months in Serie A were mid. His confidence was low, and his goals were few and far between them. Henry needed an escape badly, so when Arsenal came knocking, he didn't just answer the door, he bolted right through it. On his signing, Wenger said, "We would still have signed him no matter what, because I made him start in Monaco when he was 17 years old. I felt that when I watched him at Juventus, he had lost belief and confidence. I knew he was a very intelligent player, and I would still have tried to sign him. Turns out that a flicker of hope was all Henry needed to start a new chapter. The rest, as they say, is history." Wenger explained that in his prime, Thierry Henry could take the ball in the middle of the park and score a goal that no one else in the world could score. It takes an entertainer to know another entertainer, and some players need no introduction. When Ronaldinho watched Henry play, he was instantly familiar with his game and praised his style of play. Henry is a beautiful player and has got complete technique. I adore watching him. I respect him very much as a man and as a footballer. He reminds me of myself. Fun fact, Henry and Ronaldinho shared a locker room after Thierry jumped to Barcelona in 2007. Henry decided it was time to find some greener pastures, and Ronaldinho was welcoming. In Henry's first season at Barca, he led the team in scoring, while playing as a winger, but then the following season, he went full beast mode, racking up 26 goals and 10 assists from the wing. Those numbers helped Barcelona pull off the legendary sextuple, thanks to some serious help from his partners in crime, Samuel Eto'o and a young Lionel Messi. These guys were good, but they needed a tactician to bring out the best in them. Up next is the man who made that happen. Henry's Barcelona story wouldn't be complete without mentioning the mastermind himself, Pep Guardiola. Truth be told, Henry's Barca career might have taken a different turn if he let the pressure get to him. When Henry first rolled up to the Nou Camp, Pep hit him with a blunt reality check. He wasn't going to be a starter. But for Henry, there was no backing down from the challenge. He kept his head down, put in the work, and earned his spot under Pep's watchful eye. Pep had a few things to say about Henry's legendary status in the game.
I was a legend, and the legend rised tonight, so I think that Henry is one of the most incredible players I've seen this league.
He was a legend, and the legend rose today. To score this amount of goals means you have done for many years a lot of good things. When you score this amount of goals, you have to be consistent for a number of years, so it is an incredible compliment for him. Who do we have next? When you're good, you're simply good, and players from rival clubs acknowledge the greatness. One man who's gone over the top in doing this is Chelsea legend John Obi Mikel. Speaking on his podcast, Obi1 Podcast, the Nigerian says Henry is the greatest player ever in the Premier League. Is he right? Well, let's look at Henry's Premier League seasons. Henry spent 8 seasons with the Gunners. He racked up at least 25 goal contributions each year in his first 3 seasons. But his 4th season? Absolute fireworks. 20 goals and 20 assists in just the league. That 20 assist record still stands to this day. And as if that wasn't enough, he followed it up with a 30-goal season. Henry never dipped below 25 goals a season, except for his final injury-riddled year. And of course, all those goals came with some shiny rewards. He bagged the Premier League Golden Boot a record 4 times, 2 FA Cups, and 2 Premier League titles. Oh, and let's not forget, one of those titles came during the legendary Invincible season. Henry was the perfect striker during his prime, around 2000 to 2006. He had the pace, elegant movement, finishing, positioning, dribbling, technique, free kicks, and long-range shots. His only critique was his aerial ability, which didn't match the standards of the rest of his game, but no one cared. One of the most exciting things about the Frenchman's game is that he didn't rely on supplies from the midfielders to score like many modern-day footballers. Henry was a magician who made things happen by himself with sensational solo goals. He loved to move out wide to the left wing position when he was up front. John Obi Mikel's opinion is shared by 442 magazine, who also rated Henry as the greatest Premier League player. In their publication in 2020, they stated, "No one assisted more in a season. No one has terrorized defenders with such a combination of bewitching grace and phenomenal power." And if you ask the defenders who faced the Frenchman, they'll tell you that it was hell. Speaking on Sky Sports, John Terry said that the one player that he was frightened of was Henry.
Hopefully, John, one player that you were frightened of.
Henry.
Literally had sleepless nights before games.
He was like the silent assassin, wasn't he? He could score with his head, go short, go in behind, right and left foot. He was incredible. But literally the night before games, he would be the one player in my career that I thought, going to be a tough day tomorrow. And you'd wake up. No one had that effect on me at all but him.
Jamie Carragher was another person who echoed those thoughts. Carragher said that coming up against Thierry Henry was the most difficult job in football, especially if you were a right back.
You played left centre-back, you were okay, he was on the other side. The worst position to play against Thierry Henry was right back, not centre-back. Because he'd always be running to that left channel. He'd have Ashley Cole, Bomber, he'd have Perez. I think if you ask me what was the most difficult, not just for me, for anyone, any player, what you wouldn't want to go back to was being a right full-back against that Arsenal team of sort of 2002 to 2004. I mean, the movement, the pace, things would be happening that quickly. You couldn't react to the first thing, so you think, I'll do that, and it's already gone there, and people are moving. It was just...
One time, Patrick Vieira was asked how Henry compared to Harry Kane, one of the greats of the modern era. For Vieira, it's as simple as this. Kane can finish inside the box, outside the box, he can create chances, he's a modern number 9 and can change position. But Thierry Henry, I'm sorry, he was on a different level. Another Arsenal legend, Dennis Bergkamp, had this to say about Henry. "I think a player like that only comes around once every 100 years. So much for club football though. Did Henry ever deliver for his country, or was he just a club man? Here's a bit of a hint. Zinedine Zidane had nothing but praise for his compatriot. Speaking about Henry, Zidane said, "Thierry Henry's probably technically the most gifted footballer ever to play the beautiful game." Henry's record for France explains why one of the greatest footballers ever feels this way. He earned 123 caps for France, second only to Lilian Thuram. Henry made his World Cup debut at just 20 years old in 1998 and didn't waste any time making his mark. He finished as France's top scorer and helped them lift the trophy. Fast forward 2 years to Euro 2000, where Henry put on a clinic with multiple man-of-the-match performances, guiding France to European glory. He led the team again 3 years later, helping them bag the Confederations Cup. In 2007, Henry became France's all-time top scorer with 51 goals, a record that stood firm until Olivier Giroud surpassed it a couple of years ago. But even with that, Titi's legacy for Les Bleus is massive, leaving some gigantic boots for the next generation to fill. It all comes down to this. Thierry Henry made defenders feel like they were chasing shadows and left goalkeepers praying for miracles. Whether you were a fan, a rival, or just someone who liked watching pure magic on the field, it was the same feeling of awe whenever you watched the Frenchman play. His close control of the ball at full speed, his power, technical brilliance, and creativity, vision, positioning, and a sheer desire to win made him an absolute joy to watch. And it's no surprise that he's right up there as one of the best Premier League players ever. The legends and fans know it, and if you didn't realize it, well, now you do.